but for the cleaning of the equipment used for sperm collection and insemination, use very hot water to rinse it clean, and then follow that with a complete rinsing of the equipment with normal saline. Place your equipment on a clean paper towel in a sunny windowsill to air dry, and the sun will also do a good job of killing any microorganisms that might be on the equipment. For a certainty, all cleaning products will kill sperm. They might die clean, but die they will. They should probably all be stamped, fragile. Of course, the stamping will kill them too, so it is up to you to understand that sperm is very fragile stuff. We can be grateful that sperm is very, very determined in its effort to swim upstream, find a large, round, smooth object, and penetrate it. The bad news is that sperm will attempt to penetrate just about any large, round, smooth object that they find on the way to the eggs. If you put a tiny drop of sperm on a slide, you can watch as thousands of them try to penetrate an air bubble. They are determined to penetrate that large, round, smooth object. They do not appear to be as attracted to angular, rougher shapes. How many millions of sperm get distracted on the way upstream toward the fallopian tubes, where all fertilization takes place, and spend their lifespan trying to penetrate a random red blood cell or a nicely rounded piece of smooth cellular debris? How many take a wrong turn and end up in a small fold of vaginal tissue? My guess is millions and millions. That is why the overkill and the incongruent numbers. 2 to 6 eggs waiting patiently for the 2 to 6 sperm out of the original millions or even billion plus which were ejaculated. Sperm are indeed determined, but since it takes millions to get the job done, we can also assume they are easily distracted along the way. It truly is a wonder we have dogs at all. A puppy dog will begin to manufacture sperm at some point between 7 months and 1 year of age. By the time he is 6 or 7 years of age, his sperm quality and quantity has decreased somewhat, but he can still produce puppies until at least 10 years and sometimes older. He is at his prime between 18 months and 6 years of age. Very young dogs and very old dogs have poor sperm quality. The amount of semen ejaculated during a single ejaculation varies between 1 and 75 cc's. Remember, semen is the entire ejaculate and contains the prostatic fluid. The amount of semen is size-related, so toy dogs will produce less semen than larger breeds. The amount of sperm fraction is also size-related, so that toys have less quantity of sperm fraction per ejaculate than giant breeds. The actual sperm that is ejaculated ranges between 1 and 6 cc's. A 3-pound Yorkie may only ejaculate 2 cc's of semen, with 1 cc being sperm and the other being prostatic fluid, while a Great Dane may ejaculate 70 cc's or so of semen, with only 6 cc's being sperm and the rest prostatic fluid. I can't find a reference that says this, but I suspect that the amount of sperm or semen ejaculated is pretty well adjusted to the distance that the sperm must travel to meet the targets. Yorkies do not need as much because the sperm don't have to swim as far to reach the eggs. Great Danes need more in order to ensure that enough of them can make that longer journey to reach the eggs. That is just my little theory, based on nothing at all but conjecture. In addition, those breeds of dogs that are very large and have larger litters also have males who ejaculate greater numbers of sperm. More eggs necessitate more sperm. Here is a rough breakdown of sperm production in milliliters or cubic centimeters. They're interchangeable. This is sperm only, not prostatic fluid, and these numbers represent averages. Sure, your dog may produce more, but there's no reason to celebrate or give him a cookie. It's a size-related function, not a macho-related function. Body weight and sperm quantity. 10 to 34 pounds. Sperm content per ejaculation, 2.5 cc. 35 to 40 pounds. Sperm content per ejaculation, 4 cc. 50 to 60 pounds. Sperm content per ejaculation, 5 cc. 60 to 84 pounds. Sperm content per ejaculation, 6 cc. The number of sperm for those sizes is somewhere between 300 to 400 million on the small dog end to approximately 1.5 billion on the large dog end. There are 3 fractions in every ejaculation. The first fraction is probably prostatic fluid. It is clear and very minimal, perhaps a few drops. This fraction is ejaculated during the really hard thrusting stages. The second fraction is the sperm-rich fraction and is ejaculated near the end of the thrusting stage and at the very beginning of the tie stage. These first two fractions do not appear to have any sort of force behind them. They just drip out. The third fraction is the prostatic fluid and is ejaculated during the remainder of the tie. This fraction is ejected during a rhythmic pulsation of the penile tissue, particularly the part behind the bulb. For a natural breeding, you will get and use all three fractions. For collection and chilling, or freezing, or artificial insemination, however, you will not need nor want that third fraction. Once the thrusting is stopped, allow 3 to 4 pulsations and then stop the collection process. The remainder of the ejaculate is superfluous fluid and not useful. Prostatic fluid does not make a suitable extender for chilled sperm and is, in fact, rather toxic to sperm. Remember what I told you before? Almost everything kills sperm, including prostatic fluid. In fact, the difference between a collection with only sperm and prostatic fluid viewed under a microscope versus a collection which has been spun and cleaned of prostatic fluid and replaced by extender is quite dramatic. The sperm are livelier and definitely appear to be of a higher quality when they are extended. The acidity of the body fluids inside the bitch neutralize the prostatic fluid after it is ejaculated, so that, while in a test tube, it is rather toxic to sperm. Inside the bitch, it is neutralized and harmless. Because of the pulsating action, the purpose of the third fraction could be to propel the sperm-rich fraction upward to speed it on the journey toward the eggs. Again, just conjecture on my part, no basis in actual fact. If you collect sperm intended for insemination, it is always necessary to put it under a microscope to check to see if it is alive before you use it. A collection with dead sperm will still appear cloudy. With only a microscope and glass slides, you cannot do an actual sperm count, but at least you can visualize the sperm to see if they are alive and if the majority of them appear to be normal, active, and moving in somewhat the same direction. If you see clumps of them trying to enter an air bubble, this is a good sign. They may not be very discerning, but at least they appear to know what to do with an egg should they happen upon one in their journeys. Roughly 80% of the sperm in any one ejaculate are normal. The other 20% will have abnormalities of some sort: headless, tailless, 2 heads, seriously twisted or coiled tails, etc. This is also normal. Don't worry about it. No dog will produce sperm that is 100% perfect. Normal is the ratio of 80% normal, 20% abnormal. Some stud dogs produce semen which contains sperm with large numbers of malformations, such as proximal drops, small droplet-looking objects behind the head of the sperm, funny-looking tails, or other little abnormalities. Much of this sperm is suitable for immediate insemination. It can't be chilled or frozen, but used fresh, the sperm can still get the job done, and the DNA they carry is normal. Some flaws on sperm are not compatible with chilling or freezing, but the sperm is still useful and can produce puppies. Prior to using the dog at public stud, a good repro vet should evaluate your dog's sperm and tell you about the quality, the quantity, and any abnormalities that are there. All canine sperm is the same size, miniature poodle or Irish wolfhound. The sperm is the exact same size. The quantity will vary according to the size of the dog, but the size of the sperm is the same for all canines. Evaluate the color of the semen prior to use. Cloudy white, normal, healthy semen. Yellow, contaminated with urine or purulent exudates. Green, contaminated with purulent exudates. Red or pink, contaminated with fresh blood. Brown, contaminated with old blood. Clear, no sperm present. If you collect your dog and the semen is clear with no sperm, do not panic immediately, but do get prepared to panic. Perhaps the dog was not feeling well, or you might not have given him a teaser bitch or a bitch he liked. There are things that can cause an ejaculation without sperm. If, however, you've collected only clear fluid for 3 collections in a row spaced out over 6 weeks or so, chances are very, very good that your dog is sterile and there's very little that can be done to fix it. If sperm count is low, or if the sperm are dead, some medical tests and remedies are well worth trying. Many repro vets recommend the use of Glycoflex, available through Drs. Foster and Smith, to increase the quality and quantity of sperm. Use 300 milligrams in the morning and again in the evening, and after 90 days, you may find that the numbers and quality of sperm have increased. Your repro specialist can guide and direct you through that process, but if the dog has no sperm at all, try to get used to the idea that he is sterile and it is permanent. There are two primary reasons for sterility in a dog. The first is that an infection of some sort caused the very delicate tubules to scar over and close. The infection could have been close to the testicles, such as the prostate gland, or it could have been farther away, such as persistent dental infections. Blocked tubules cannot be fixed. Don't even ask. The answer is no. Secondly, an internal injury to the testicle can cause internal bleeding, and the dog's immune system might well have built up antibodies to the sperm themselves. The antibodies will kill the sperm before they are fully mature. The tubes are open, but the manufacturing plant is dead. This cannot be fixed. Sadly, male sterility is permanent most of the time and can cause the loss of our hopes and dreams. Because sperm are so numerous, if you are shipping or freezing, it is completely appropriate to do 2 collections approximately an hour apart. The second collection will not have quite as much sperm in it, but it will have roughly 70 to 80% of what the first collection had. And 70% of 400 million is quite a significant number. Try to do your shipped collections in this way, particularly if you're only going to be able to do 1 shipment. If your shipments are spaced over 2 days, you can easily do a collection followed by a second collection after an hour, and you've almost doubled the number of sperm that you can ship. You can do this for both collections and increase the number of good quality sperm. The lifespan of a sperm is variable and is dependent upon what is done to it between ejaculation and death. Frozen sperm, once thawed and placed into the bitch, have a lifespan of approximately 1 to 2 hours. Fresh chilled sperm will have a lifespan of about 12 hours after placement in the bitch. Fresh sperm, whether inseminated or placed by natural breeding, will live at least 4 to 6 days. Some studies have found living sperm in the reproduction tract of a bitch 10 days or so following a breeding. Of course, there's no way of assessing its quality, but it was alive. Sperm are very fragile organisms. First, they must leave their place of origin and travel in unknown and hostile territory to search for the eggs. They are, of necessity, easily distracted and attracted to any round, smooth object that they find on the way to the eggs. There's a lot of competition when you're one of some 300 million to 1 billion sperm. Treat your stud dogs like gold. Feed them a great diet. Protect them from bad weather. Provide them with good dental care to prevent infections, abscesses, and gum diseases that could lead to systemic disease and sterility. View their sperm as an invaluable resource and guard it once you have it in your care. Your next Best in Show winner depends on it.